Hey everybody, welcome to Mashinky. I'm not quite sure how to say it, so please forgive me if I am butchering that name. But I wanted to show you this game because I was really interested in it. I love the Railroad Tycoon games. I love Transport Tycoon, Open Transport Tycoon, Sid Meier's Railroads, and the game that started it all was Industry Giant. That was one of my earlier computer games when I was, I think, in high school, maybe. Anyway, it is kind of like that, only the focus is on trains. I don't know if there'll be trucks. This game is an early access, but the main focus is trains and, realistic model of trains. I recognize a lot of these from playing... Whoops, I don't want you to go to Depot. No. I recognize a lot of these from playing Transport Fever, really any train game, the Baldwin especially. So the graphics are really good. I just noticed, like I said, the game is early access, but I don't think these things will change, and so I am going to comment on them. I'm kind of just showing you a little preview here. This is not a full review of the game, but it's basically whether I'm going to, play it a lot in the future or not. And I think the answer is not, because there's a few things I don't like. One of them is I don't really like how it gets blurry like that in the distance. It kind of... I don't know if that's a setting that you'll eventually be able to adjust or not. So that might be Shadow Caller. Why is that on low? You gotta get that on high. I'm not sure why. As you can see, I have a 1080 Ti and a 7th generation i7 that is slightly overclocked, and it is a little bit, it is a little bit resource intensive on the graphics there. It is nice that they show the FPS. Anyway, I don't see the blurring. How you can change the blurring? Is it depth of field? Is that what that is? Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. Well, but then it kind of looks ugly in the distance. So maybe that's why they made them blurry. Well, that looks like a level of detail adjustment. Anyway, yeah, the game is in early access, so this could easily be something that is worked out. But my main beef with the game is it looks gorgeous. It looks pretty. I know from playing Transport Fever, I hate how look at the map edges on this game. Here's the boundary, and off in the distance, it looks like it could feasibly be something. Okay, it's a little desert, but Transport Fever, they actually show it's like a solid, it's like you're on an island, and the world is flat, and it's not very big, but here you can kind of visualize, okay, it might go off in the distance a little bit, so I do like that, but the problem is, the game looks so pretty. Where'd my train go? I want to get a nice shot of the train. There we go. So you can click on the train here and get like an up close and personal view, which is kind of nice. You can do something similar in Transport Fever, only from the very front of the train. And what are these actually? So you can see the view from passenger coaches. This is actually really nice. I think you can do kind of the same thing in Transport Fever, but it's kind of floating. And this view is actually much better. I like this a lot more. This is neat. This is really neat. But anyway, as I leave it here and we see the gorgeous world, the problem is, well, okay, I won't leave it here because it's just such a pretty world. And then you go into construction mode and it's an isometric view. I understand why the designer did this. It makes for a bit easier construction. The designer actually says, well, here, let's just read the description on the store page. It says, Mashinky is a transport strategy game about trains. The goal is to create your own transport empire on a procedurally generated map. It's a unique blend of realistic graphics combined with an isometric construction and board game-like rules. So I love board games, which is why I was intrigued about this. And I'm not talking about Monopoly. I'm into the Euro game that has lots of strategy, and is very complex. And, games like the Colonist and What are some of my other favorites? Aquasphere by Stefan Feld. I used to like Uwe Rosenberg, but he started designing games that are just a little bit more too open, and it feels like no choice you can make is wrong, and I don't really like that type of game. I like making wrong choices. I like games that rely on a little bit of luck. Xeno Shift is a really fun card game I play with my guy friends. It's, you fight off aliens. It's kind of like Starship Troopers. Anyway, I love board games. I love strategy board games, real board games. Again, not stupid games like Monopoly that rely on, that they're basically all luck. So I was really intrigued when this guy said he made it based on board games. So I think this is what he was going for. It has certain rules like if you go up a hill and lay track up a hill, you cannot lay it diagonally. So, like, for example, let's see, you cannot lay track like that. You see how it's automatically correcting it to go straight up the hill? You cannot lay, let's see if I can, yeah, right there. So, if it's diagonal, it cannot go up or go down. So that's just one of the rules of the game, right? And it's not just a curve, it's not that curve. If we had this, yeah, like there, that's a perfect example. You can't climb with a diagonal piece. It doesn't matter if it's curving or a straight diagonal. And so I think that's kind of like the board game-like rules. Some of the fun things are you can upgrade certain things in the game. So that is something that is really fun. It does also have quests, it's kind of fun, but it's not quite as, Transport Fever it's open world. It's a little bit more realistic. I guess you could have quests. Stuff like this that's realistic. That's not necessarily unrealistic, but Transport Fever is a little bit more, here's your open world and you do with it what you will. This is a little bit more, it's got quests and gold and stuff like this, but granted, this is just the map that I am playing now. There might be some other game modes in the future, so I am a little bit hesitant to say I don't instantly dislike it, but that's part of the fun. I love constructing, I love building, and games like Transport Fever or City Skylines, it lets you do that for the most part in this gorgeous game world, but here, it's just, I understand, again, this is just the design of the game, but it takes away the beauty. You can't tell me that is as beautiful as that. It's just not. So the setup ordering system is very straightforward. Adding a station, taking a station away, and then the route automatically repeats over and over again from the bottom to the end. So like this line, for example, is going from this station to this station to this station and then back to this station, and then that's all I have because it automatically repeats and starts over the list, which is station 3. So it does that automatically. That's all the pretty standard stuff. Overall, it's very pretty, it's very gorgeous, but I don't think I'll be playing with it because, again, of this view. It's just, I'll probably do either this is Transport Fever and what I love about it, or maybe a miniature Let's Play series on that game. But, you'll see, like, part of the fun of that game is I love building, and you just can't, this is just not, it takes a lot of the fun out of these types of games to me to build in this ugly view. Some people will probably like it. The developer of the game, it's just a single guy, a single developer, and he is developing it on his own, and it looks like really good. It's for early access. This is a very polished game. I haven't had one crash yet, but, obviously it is still very early access. I forget when he says it's going to release it, but it is going to be a little while. And it looks like he is very serious about this game. It's not like he just threw something together and put it up there on early access. This is a very solid game in the early stages. There's only about a quarter of the industries. The maps can actually, let's go out to the main menu. I don't want to exit the main menu. I just don't want to exit all the way. So if you start a new game, you can go, currently the biggest map size is 512. I was on a 256, so we could double that map size even bigger, and then you can change your options there, and you get a little bit more advanced options here, which actually, this is actually better than Transport Fever because you can't adjust stuff like this, terraforming costs. I believe it's just easy, medium, and hard. Those are the however many difficulties you have, they change all these factors. You don't get to change these individually. So that's really nice. This gives you a lot of customization. I actually wish Transport Fever had some of that. This would make it a lot more fun. But anyway, yeah, there are the options for the map. He is another, you know, I almost want to... I love the idea of other people seeing the world that you built and playing it in multiplayer, and Transport Fever does not have that. When Transport Fever went out to design a game, they said we can either make a really good single-player game, and they succeeded, or they could make a mediocre single-player game and multiplayer game. And so it just doesn't have multiplayer, which... that's like a huge minus to me. I love playing these open world, huge games and either working with or working against someone, or even if you're on another side of the world, it's fun to like just pan over and see what your friend is building. Like, that's so much fun to do that. I love playing games with my friends, and that's a huge bummer in Transport Fever. So this is a huge plus in this game. Multiplayer alone might make this game for you if that is something, you know, if you're like me. And then a world editor as well. I haven't toyed at that at all, but the settings are fairly what you would expect. It's got, you know, this is a nice computer game. You can customize a lot of settings. It's not like it's a port. He's not making this for consoles that I know of, and got a nice language selection too. So if you haven't already checked out this game and you like games like Transport, if you like building games, construction games, games where you start out small and build up a huge empire and try to manage money and economics, this is a great game to try out. But again, think about those... Think about how you build, and to me, I love building in the real world. It's exciting and beautiful, and, you know, I get to see the things that I'm destroying and building, and, you know, when you lay out the track, it actually shows you in Transport Fever what the track will actually look like, and as opposed to this game, it's just the isometric view. It's just... it takes away a lot of the joy for me. So this game does have a lot of great features. I highly recommend you check it out, but I would... yeah, if you're like me, those few things are actually a pretty big deal, and it might set you back. So I encourage you all, again, check this game out. It looks really good, and that's all I'm going to say on that. So have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.